Welcome to this week's episode of Cars, Stars, and Roll Bars. I'm Mike Kinney, your host. And each episode, we capture different parts of this amazing culture that I call cars, whether it's got 4 tires or 2 and maybe even 1. And throughout the year, we're going to be going to a lot of different events. We're going to Grand National. We'll be going to PRI in December. Yeah, we're going to get some mileage. And all this is about the importance of enjoying the ride. And today, we got a great show. We have a very good friend of mine from Blacktop Magazine. It is Tony Colombini, and he is a child of the 60s and a fuel-fed family. I love this bio, by the way. Growing up between the pages of Car and Driver, Hot Rod, and Auto Trader. Yep, I'd always have all 3 on my coffee table. Got 3 brothers and a sister. He took some back roads and detours to get a degree in visual communication at Laguna College of Art and Design. Since then, Tony's hit the highway, running his marketing and design studio for going on 30 years now. And after a couple of off-road ramps, including art director at Classic Industry, that's one of my favorite catalogs, and marketing director at Edge Machine Shop. He shares his passion with Blacktop Magazine, a hot rod and chopper culture publication, and BlacktopTV on YouTube from his content marketing studio, Blacktop Media Network, where he creates high-performing campaigns for the automotive aftermarket. One can say he is truly a gearhead, born and raised. Tony, welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, all right. Great to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, yeah, it's so good to, we can't, we're kind of having to do the virtual shaking hands, but it's great to see you again. The last couple of beers have been wonky for everybody, but talent like you guys are going to persevere, and things we're going to be talking about. And it's just, I think, kind of jump into the deep end of the pond, because we got your bio, which fascinates me. And Classic Industries, whenever I get that big giant catalog, Mary goes, oh no. I grab a cold beer. I go out in the garage, right, turn on my little stereo, and I flip the pages because they're going to have something cool in there that wasn't in there the last time I got the big catalog. So what possessed you, and obviously you've been very successful at, what kind of led you to standing up Blacktop Magazine? Amazing publications, by the way, and great feeds.
Well, thank you very much. It really was, as a graphic artist, graphic designer, I do a lot of development of content for clients and all. And I thought, well, why not put it in a magazine and share my passion with more people? And so that's really what it is. It's a passion publication. So I put that together. Yeah.
Now is that a great tagline? A passion publication, and I am very envious because all us hot rodders, you want to have your garage art and a mini man cave. Just looking behind you, Hoss, that is stunning. Can you give us a little insight? You got some pretty cool pieces there. Rick will pull you back up full screen, and so it looks like you got a motorcycle gas tank up there, complete. That's flamed the way it should be, right?
Right, and. That's from a project my son and I are doing for the American Diabetes Association. Cool. It's a shovel head, 1980 shovel head we're putting together for many years now. It comes off and on, but with the help of my friends at Egge Speed Shop and others, we've been putting this bike together, and we're going to auction it off for the American Diabetes Association. But then the other artwork is just things I've collected. I used to have a memorabilia store here in the city of Orange. And I love old license plates, all kinds of car stuff. And so you see artwork from Bow Monster and other friends up there. And it's just something and even a Hot Wheel track. I got that, I guess it's this way. That Hot Wheel track there is just something, hey, between projects, I just get up there and throw a couple cars down the line.
Yeah, I remember the Hot Wheels, and you could maybe put a little different motor in them, or you put a little different tire, and you could go down the track faster. Yeah. It's sort of like 10 years old, and we're doing some modification. So, from your perspective, a couple of questions is about Blacktop Magazine and your network in general. What makes you guys unique? How are you different?
Well, it's I guess it goes back to that passion play, right? Sure, there's people that are passionate in this industry putting out all kinds of publications, but this is really derived because I want to share that passion. And so I get friends who contribute to the magazine, like the latest one here. The cover was contributed by Donnie Cartier of DC Imagery. And so we get stories and stuff like that from people and just like to share it. I've always liked print, like I mentioned in my bio. My brothers and I would sit around and go through Auto Trader or Hot Rod or any of those magazines, and so it's kind of neat to have a printed publication now, where a lot of them have gone away.
Well, I know, and yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. The last few years, you did a great job touching on it. Some of the publications are kind of dying off. I think not only you've been successful, I think you continue to grow and gain popularity. So, as far as some of your current customers or maybe some of your contributors, what's some of the favorite feedback you got from them?
It's a lot of it is the stories behind the cars. So not
Okay.
just the beautiful cars like this 39 Pontiac and the cover here, but the stories behind it. That a car that may have been handed down to them from their father, uncle, or somebody, or the father and son and father and daughter that are working in the garage together. One of the favorite stories we put into the issue, almost every issue has a Kid Wrencher series, where we celebrate the young people in the garage working and learning how to turn a wrench and lefty loosey, righty tighty, and all that good stuff.
Well, that's amazing because just like, none of us are getting any younger. I'm thinking, I got more years behind me than in front of me, that drill. So to have that approach to help ignite some of that interest and enthusiasm, you guys are to be commended because I'm not sure where we're going to be in another 15 to 20 years. We'll talk about that after a while, but having options like that to give them some recognition. Because I've told people for years that what I fascinated about hot rodding, a 17-year-old can talk to a 70-year-old in a language they both understand and respect.
Yeah. And that's just great. I hope more of the 70-year-olds will listen to the 17-year-old,
Yeah, one would hope.
I've seen so many guys at car shows. Like, we have a local car show here that I co-host once a month, and
Cool.
In fact, tonight we're going down to Garden Grove for the show.
Nice.
But you bring some of the guys, you see some of these kids with those wacky Japanese style cars, Osu Buko or something like that. It's called. We had the big deck coming out of the front of the '80s Cressida, and so I took some of my buddies down the street to go look at these, and they're looking at it going, "You took me all the way down here to look at this stupid thing." I'm like, hey, these are kids doing it, man. They're doing what they can with what they got, So
that's where they're kind of pursuing their version of what they think is extra cool. My response is God bless them. Myself and a few others, I got picked and we went over to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia at that big event in the fall of 2019. And hot rodding is international, Haas. They're loving all the cars they saw. They're enthusiastic about the auction. They love the music that was going on. And it was a very friendly atmosphere. So shipping hot rods over in the shipping containers, that was kind of nervous.
Right.
But you're right.
And they do it all the time. Yeah.
But you're right. I think it's very universal. So above and beyond, so we kind of talked about where you're at with the magazine. Now you've got your Blacktop, go look at my notes here. You got your Blacktop TV. That's kind of, because you cover a lot of different shows. You got some great audio, great videos in there, man. So it's like, I'm telling people, if you can't go to this one show, go check out Blacktop TV. It's like you're there.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Because the magazine I put together, more of it's going to be a coffee table book. It'll sit there for months, maybe even a year. You can look back on it and go, okay, these are relevant articles. So you won't see events in the magazine. So on Blacktop TV, you're going to see a lot of the events. So what I'll do is, as I go to an event, I'll shoot video, shoot stills, create a video, put it up there. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m., we put another video up. And it's just been a lot of fun, a big hoot, and it's been growing like crazy.
Talking about growing like crazy, we got to chat a little bit about the Blacktop Media Network, because I understand it like that arts and graphics side of it, because you're just an incredible talent all these years. You've kind of become the go-to guy for a lot of this, right? If companies are really wanting to embrace what it means to capture some of the car culture, I think you can give them a lot of insight and a path to success.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a while, so I know a lot of the players. I know how it's been working, so it's great to be able to share what's going on in these, either a manufacturing facility for parts or at a hot rod shop with other people so they can see it, or share. Sometimes a company might not have a new product coming out, but they want to get their name out. So, they'll co-sponsor, say, an event that I went to, like going to Moon Eyes tomorrow, I'll get a lot of content for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect for, like, one of my clients is Wheelsmith out of Corona, and I'd say 80 to 90% of the cars there have the right wheels that from Wheelsmith.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Phil and Mary Leatherman, they had Extreme Automotive there in Corona, and Dave Whittle's right there in Norco, which is adjacent. So there's just amazing talent in that valley. So other than hot rodding, I know this can be kind of scary for you. So if you're not cruising down the road in your favorite hot rod or on your motorcycle, what other hobbies scratch your itch?
Well, let's see. Does walking my dog count?
Sure. We got to talk about Hilda after a while too. That's right.
No, I do a lot of cooking
Cool.
and working around the house, stuff like that. So those are the things I like to do other than cars. But I tell you what, I'm all about the cars, from little Hot Wheels to the big cars.
And Tab, I'm gonna give a shout out to Rick, the producer. Can you pull up the picture of that really cool 56s? I think the puppies and the puppy got it in the shot as well. Might have photobombed Tommy. Tony, let's see if we can pull that up with us and we can kind of talk over. So that is one sweet looking ride, Haas. Is he there?
Yeah, he's there.
Okay.
Party. And so I was all kind of dressed up like a 50s monkey wrench and wrencher,
Right.
And then Hilda came out, and she always has to get her belly rubbed. So that's what that's all about.
That is so that's, I believe, a 56. Tell us a little bit about the car.
So it's a 56 Fairlane.
Right.
I bought about 18 years ago, and it had the 390 with a C6 in it. Still got it in there.
Nice.
And it's been doing a bunch of work on it and you can see through Blacktop TV and BlacktopMagazine.com all the follow along, because we about 3 years ago painted the top with metal flake and lace and candy blue paint over here at Egge Speed Shop in Orange. Those guys just did a great job with that. So that kind of changed the style all up to the 60s. So instead of being a street rod like it was with the torque thrust and all that, now it's running white walls and wire wheels, and
nice.
It's just a fun ride. Yeah.
It's got some style to it. And we'll see if Rick can find this other shot. We got to talk about this motorcycle with a very unique sidecar kind of look to it. So for the viewers, this is not your traditional sidecar. So
no.
What in the world is going on with this? Because it's kind of cool.
Oh, man, I bought that bike. It's a 1972 Harley Davidson Rapido. It's an Italian-made Harley Davidson back when they were with AMF.
Right.
And they worked with Teramachi. So it's a 125cc two-stroke and enduro bike. And my son, Billy, who was paralyzed when he was 18 from the waist down, he loves to ride bikes, and he's got a Harley with a sidecar. So we thought, hey, let's put a side hack on the side of this thing. And so we were able to find another frame and cut it up and basically just put 3 bars across, and put a bracket on it and 3 bars across to hold up that side hack. And we use an old drill box for a toolbox there. You can see on the side hack, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's why some of the stuff you wrench on that you hit on, it's just fun, right?
That's really all it's about.
Yeah, and just like I won some of the Concours competitions. Don't get me wrong, Auburn's, Duesenberg's, Cords,
beautiful.
They're just breathtaking, right? And they were built in the 40s when we didn't have CNC machines and the AutoCAD, and so these are true artisans. But to me, this is the fun stuff. So and so I have my questions I have to ask. I think I know the answer. What's your favorite weekend?
My favorite weekend?
Yeah.
This weekend and next weekend and next weekend.
Yeah, exactly. I think it has something to do with hot rods, right, bud?
I'm fortunate we're here in Southern California because there's so much going on and so close, from the Chopper Fest up in Ventura to SEMA in Vegas where you're at, or, the Big 3 down in San Diego, and just a ton of stuff in LA and Orange County. There's always something to go to.
And you got a great ride to get you there, right?
Yeah.
So if we blow the dust off the crystal ball, where do you see this Blacktop Magazine, the Blacktop Media Network? Where do you see all that in about 5 years from now?
I hope in everybody's hands, right?
Absolutely.
It's one of those things where I publish the magazine as a print on demand, so that way I'm not
Yeah.
putting a lot of cost out for 10,000 issues
Right.
printed at one time and all
Right.
that. And so my goal in the next 5 years is to get it to hot rod shops. So if I can
Beautiful.
get like 200 hot rod shops across the country to order magazines, and I can easily print 1,000 or more so up, and then that way it brings the cost way down. Right now,
Sure.
it's not an expensive. It's not an inexpensive
Yeah.
magazine. It's
Yeah.
$10 for the 40 pages. But as I've heard from a lot
Cool.
of people, they love the shiny, nice paper, great photography
Yes.
throughout. So it's one of those things.
And I got to be candid with what I put my hands on it before,
Mm-hmm.
straight up. Well, it reminds me of the DuPont Registry magazine.
Oh wow!
Right.
Okay.
It's just it's
Yeah.
got that nice. It's just got a nice feel to it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good stock. It's got some gloss, and then the insightful stories. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
you're going.
Hey.
What when I see one, I say, okay, I'm going to borrow it for a while. And they said, I almost had to like give my driver's license to make sure I bring it back.
Oh no.
So the other part of crystal ball for you, because you got your pulse on a lot of aspects of the car culture and and what goes on with anything automotive and motorcycles. What kind of trends do you see coming up in the next few years?
That's a good question because there's so much going
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
From alternative fuel vehicles and so forth. And I think that's where it's going. For some people, that's sad. For me, I don't want to be that buggy whip salesman, so I'm going full
yep.
force into okay. Let's look at things now. I was talking with a guy last week who runs a company that is developing hydrogen plants at service stations. So he's working with
Wow.
the Antonetti brothers and building these service stations that have hydrogen fuel. Because I believe that hydrogen, either as an ICE, internal combustion engine, or
Mhm.
hydrogen that converts to electric energy, really should be the way rather than battery power.
Okay.
And so I'm really hoping that that's the way it goes. So that's what I really want to see pushed more and more.
Excellent. And you're not alone. Some of the other people I've had on the show and some of the calls I'm on, there's this general keen interest in the benefits of hydrogen.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
it's so readily available, right? Now,
Yeah.
now we have to be careful with it, just like you do with gasoline, But it's
Sure.
yeah, but when you look at all the stuff going on, the electric vehicle and the 300 miles if you're lucky, and all the ancillary activities it takes to get there, I think I am kind of a fan of hydrogen. So here we go. This is
Yeah.
one you're going to like this question, maybe. So there's a young person who sees all your stuff. They have a chance to catch this on Car Stars and Roll Bars and go, ooh, I want to start my own publication, just like Tony. So, so what would be your advice for them, sir?
Go at it. Do it. Don't stop. Right. I've always loved to encourage young people, and that's why we do the Kid Venture series in the magazine
Yeah.
too. In fact, I'm working with Chapman University right now. I'm hoping to get a call later today about an internship coming in here.
God
I
bless
think
you.
it's important, that we share this passionate industry, and that's what's so wonderful is that this isn't like accounting. People aren't passionate about running numbers all day. People get passionate about this, and I think you work in an industry that you're passionate about, it's not work.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Over the few years ago, we had the pleasure to acquire 2.0 Superbird 426 ME 4-speed, and just when you walk, just like you're 56, when you walk in their garage, you go, yeah,
Yeah.
And that's a little different than, like you're saying, being the accountant. Nothing against accountants. Send
Sure.
all complaints to Blacktop Magazine. Attention,
Yes.
Tony. Right, but yeah, because everybody kind of has their day job, and it may not be the ideal one. But if you can
Sure.
start, to me, touching this amazing culture one way or the other, oh my goodness! Just real quick, brief segue. I don't know if you ever heard of First Robotics. And it's a competition that goes up through high school, and it leads to scholarships in engineering, math, and science. And,
Oh, nice.
And they have to design these robots from scratch in about 6 weeks. So
Right.
I'm going to send you some information on, and they're always looking for judges as far as the mechanical design. I think to have you guys engaged would be amazing because there's competitions throughout Southern California and internationally.
Well, I'd rather judge that than what I got to do this weekend. I was
What?
asked to judge the pinup contest at Moon Eyes. So I'm like,
Oh, well, let me check my dance card. If I absolutely positive. now, one of the risks there being a judge, you're probably going to only be able to pick one, right? I mean, just
yeah.
it's
I always like it when I've done it before.
yeah,
It's like 'cause all the women are beautiful, so I don't
absolutely.
see it as a beauty contest, but really as how's their stage presence. So that's what
Yes.
I look
Yeah.
for.
What do they bring to it? Right? Just the
Yeah,
aura around it. And we want to thank all the ladies that participate in this. I've done a lot of the rat rod gatherings, and it's
yeah,
just that the whole clothing line. It's just, I think it's cool. I mean,
yeah.
my goodness. I ended up going to a American Pacer gathering, and I didn't realize it. I think they're breeding them now because they seem to get a few more some of the shows. But yeah, whatever works for you, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so as you kind of look back, because you are, all joking aside, you're kind of head and shoulders above most of the crowd in this. So who's been a couple of your favorite mentors?
Oh boy. It's I guess one of the names that comes up first and foremost is Brad Fanshaw.
Okay.
You might be surprised to hear that, but he's also an artist designer and just created these products from watches to wheels and all that. I look at him a lot at and think, wow, if I could be just a piece of that, that's awesome.
Wow. I know I had the pleasure, like a lot of us, I did shows with George Barris for years, and just
Mhm.
as an amazing, and he's just such a kind guy. I mean,
Yeah.
just probably one of the better ways to describe him. I know when he
Oh
saw,
yeah.
yeah, we debuted our 47, the Radical Full Custom 47 Dodge with opera windows, and we chopped it, and we unveiled it in the middle of Hot Rod Alley. George is standing there, and he goes, "Mike, do you realize you chopped two cars?" I said, "George, pretty much."
Yeah.
And then,
That's
and
fabulous.
then you spend time with Blackie, right? And so Blackie explains this years ago, and we're at SEMA naturally, we're having some lunch. He explained to me, but it took him about 20 minutes on the color of carpet that you want to have under your vehicle if you're doing the 20-foot display. And it
Now
was
I heard a story of Blackie
yeah,
that he went when he first showed with a mirror under a car. I forget which I think it was the Portland or the Oakland Roadster show at the
right.
time. He went into the bathroom and ripped the mirror off the wall
Yes.
and put it on there.
Absolutely correct. Yeah, when we were we did Starbird's show in Tulsa, so we got a hold of Mary's sister, and she went to a local hardware store because I needed some elliptical mirrors, and we couldn't find them to ship. So she goes there and buys us two or three. But it was just you kind of do what you have, and like with Daryl's Starbird, I've told people it's not near what where we're at as far as some connectivity. I remember seeing Daryl's work in the original, like what was it, like Rod and Custom and Popular Hot Rodding magazines, right?
Uh-huh.
The king of the bubble tops. So we're
Right.
displaying at his show, and he's with me at 7:30 in the morning before the doors open later on, and he says, "Mike, we are thrilled to have your car here." And I was just going, for once, I was kind of speechless, as you know, it's rather odd for me. But to have somebody of that status look at something you've done, just like with you, what you've accomplished, and when those type of people say, "Great job," I say, "Man, that kind of
Yeah.
gives you a little chill up your spine, right?"
Yeah. It's always great. That's always great.
And so again, with your and when you sent me your bio, that's got one of the funnest reads I had in a long time. So as you were growing up, what's one of your favorite automotive memories?
Well, as I was growing up, it would have to be either building models. I remember specifically this one Model A touring that I would build. It's like a 125 scale model, and Boston's first album playing over and over in the room while I'm building it. And then, or when we're on road trips with the family, going up to Northern California to see my extended family, and all those kids in the wagon, we'd be, before we left, each family member would choose a different car, and we'd count them as we go up Highway 5 or 101, and whoever had the most. My sister always won because she picked Volkswagen Beetles. So,
Okay, here you go. Remember Punch Bug?
Punch Bug.
Yeah. For the Volkswagens, if you're a kid and you're in the back seat and you saw one, you hollered punch bug, and you punch, right. You punch him in the shoulder, or slug bug. Yeah, Rick's helping. I guess there's slug bug, and so then you start wincing if you don't see it first because you know what's coming. So before we get out of here, how do people find your magazine, and also just what's some ways to hook up with you, and what's going on with your network as well?
Right on. Thank you. Everything is at blacktopmagazine.com. As far as all the content stuff, blacktopmagazine.com you can order the magazines, any one of the 28 issues I have out right now, or you can order them online. It gets printed and mailed right to you.
Perfect.
As well as other articles and features that are on the website. It's like a big blog site. It's crazy. And there you can also sign up for my email newsletter. Cool. We send out a newsletter every month, and that gives you the what's up and what's new and all that, as well as apparel and things of that nature. And then blacktopmedia.net is my website for the business that does content creation.
Excellent. So I would encourage, we get lots of viewers. We're really fortunate, broad demographic. So especially anybody that has a business or looking at opening a business and you want to get your toe in the water on call culture, I think you would go a long ways to find anybody nearest town as the guy I got on screen with me right now. So you got to reach out to him. I think he could help you a bunch. Okay, before we get out of here, and usually I like to have my guests pick one. What is your favorite automobile? I know. It's tough.
I love so many of them, but I got to go with my 56 Fairlane Riff Raff because I've done so much work to it. I think that the mid 50s cars are just really American cars are just really cool. Although I do like an early 70s Datsun 240Z. So
really, okay,
a little bit of everything. Yeah.
What they got that long hood on? So now your son Billy. So is he kind of getting the hot rod itch as well, or what?
Oh yeah. No, he's more of a motorcycle guy. He likes all the Harleys and the choppers and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Well, I tell you, I saw the new Indian that came out. I'm going, oh my, right? Of course, as you know, I'm married up, by the way. I married my best friend over 30 years ago, and she's still putting up with me. And she let me know with that 426 Hemi in the Berg, says, I get in enough trouble with 4 tires under my big butt. She doesn't really want to see me with just 2.
Right. Well, I did a test ride on that Indian Scout Bobber.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's got some torque. That thing takes off.
And to me, they really did a great job with the design, too. They're breathtaking.
Yeah, really nice.
Because they got an Indian dealership here in the valley. And so I went to my buddy and I took a picture sitting on one. I sent it to Mary. She came back in capital letters, exclamation points, no. Nothing else. Hey, before we ring out of here, what's some closing thoughts? What do you see coming up in the next few months? And where should people keep an eye out to bump into you and say howdy?
All right. Well, it's a busy next couple of weekends, that's for sure. Moon Eyes this weekend and Grand National the weekend after that. And, just going to be all around different places. So just stay tuned to blacktopmagazine.com and you'll see where I'm going.
Excellent. Well, and brother, I'm just honored to have you on Car Stars and Roll Bars. It's going to be so great to connect. Usually we do these evergreens, but this one's cool because we'll be at Grand National shooting content as well. It's going to be great to be actually shake hands and do that hug and kind of probably catch a cold one over at the Sheraton and kind of what all's been happening in our mutual universes. Thank you again for being on the show. And ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this week's episode of Car Stars and Roll Bars. You can check us out at carstarsandrollbars.vegas. Give me a holler at 702-371-7469. And we would love to chat to you, ways to reach out. And until next time, enjoy the ride out there. Bye-bye for now.